All right. We are attempting to record, and I have no idea how this video is going to go. So Thursday, September 17th, currently doing sixth period, but it doesn't really matter what period it is. This is going to be for both Thursday and Friday, September 18th, because we're covering the same information, whichever class you might be missing. So if it's Friday you're missing, you are watching the correct class. And it's going to be a struggle, so just ride this along with me. Whew. All right, let's go to here. I'm not covering the homework even with you guys now, so we've covered the homework before. Just know that, again, my goal right now, homework-wise, is two parts. One, not give you a lot of it, because I figure that's math job. So I don't plan on giving you a whole lot of homework, because pretty much as soon as I went on IXL and I saw like you can recommend them, and it was like, would you like to recommend 20 IXLs? Math did it. I'm like, oh my God. So because of that, I have my 2 IXLs. Eventually, I will do more IXLs, but I'm in no hurry for that. Those of you who had your hopes set high to have a quiz today, I apologize. We're not going to get to the quiz today. I wanted to, but apparently I talked. And so me talking as much as I do, we're not going to get a chance to get to it. So those of you who had your heart set on it, you'll just have to wait till next week. We're going to get to the quiz then. Homework-wise, my other goal with it is you can turn in all homework for me late. I mean, you're going to take a small penalty for it, but at no point can you not turn in homework for me, which is both good and bad, because my goal is I don't want any of you to fail. So as long as you're willing to do work for me, I'm willing to have you turn it in. The bad news is when your parents force you to turn in work for me late, I'll still take it. And you can't ever use the excuse, he's not going to take it, it's useless. No, I will still take all the way back that very first assignment. I will keep taking it until the very end of the 9 weeks. If you are willing to do it, I am willing to take it. So hopefully that helps you not fail as much as we can. Blah, blah, that. Schedule today, blah, blah. Oh, those of you who are virtual, every teacher has a half hour at the end of the day in case you need to contact us. You're more than welcome to it. So every day, those of you who are virtual, you can contact teachers and we can answer questions for you. Tomorrow, y'alls don't come to this class. We're going to go to third period, and then best, and then fifth, and then seventh. So whoever you have for your 7th/best teacher, you're going to have for 3 hours tomorrow. Hopefully you really like them. Also, to my knowledge, we do not have an hour and a half of stuff to do during best tomorrow. So bring something to do during best tomorrow. A book, find out how to play Fortnite on your iPad, or talk to your best teacher. There's going to be something. But as of now, we're early enough in the school year that for the most part, you should be able to work on homework. I'm guessing for math, your 20 IXLs they gave you, or for those of you who are still trying to not turn in mine, you're going to have time tomorrow during best. Those of you who are responsible enough to have your stuff done, I'm guessing we're going to give you time to work on things, because we simply don't have that much for you to do yet. Someday we may, but we're not there yet. And then blah, blah, blah. All right. Oh, again, for those of you who are on Remind, speaking of Remind, those of you who are doing the home version right now, if you have a question, send it to me and it goes to my watch, and then I can read whatever your question is, and then I can answer it for you. If you're in my class, don't send me a Remind message, raise your hand, because my 4th period did that, and they kept annoying me, and I had to throat punch a child and just drop her right there because she made poor choices. Those of you who are at home, you're more than welcome to send me a message, because I can't see chat. So normally you can put things into chat, but I'm not looking at chat today, so it's not going to do any good. But if you go to Remind, it'll go up on my watch, and I can read it during class and can try to help you out. Those of you who are here, just raise your hand. Now, I might not call in immediately. I might make you wait, depending on my patience. But if you really need to, you can like write it down somewhere. If you have a pencil, you can just write it on the desk and erase stuff in. And we boiled. I don't care. Oh, by the way, if you have a pencil, I don't care if you write on my desk, because we boil them at the end of each day, and all the stuff comes off the top later. So that's fine with me. Just don't write anything mean on there, and don't do it in pen, because pen is harder to do. But yeah, I don't care if you write on the desk. It's fine with me. All right. But Remind-wise, I sent this out to you guys via Remind yesterday. I'm going to do it again tonight. My goal is each day before the evening time, I will tell you what kids are going where and then what classes they are. we have 80-minute class periods. And it's been forever since you guys have been at school. And so I've got a feeling by this time, many of your brains are starting to shut down. So I figure about that time, I'm also going to take a break and we can just go, oh my God, what do we got into? And in 5 minutes, we'll come back. So just give me a reminder. All right. Oh, hang on. Quick timeout. I was chewing gum and now it's like starting to dissolve in my mouth. So I have that. You guys ever have the gum and you chew it long enough, like starts to like dissolve, like stick to things? Ow. All right. Time back in. Now, those of you who are doing the home version of this, if you came last night for the tour, you may have seen this. Those of you who are here today, you should have seen this already. Whoever designed this building hates children. That is my claim. My evidence is, if you've walked around the library, we have 4 sets of doors that look identical. They're all double doors, and they all lead down the hallway. And when you get to them, you're like, is this the right doorway? You're like, it's a gamble. And you go through it, and you end up in a parking lot next to tennis court. And you're like, is this the science hallway? You're like, no, that's on the other side of the building. And you're like, why did I go to that door? So to help you, here's the advice I'm going to give you. When you come to, these are the old signs. They replaced the signs. So over the summertime, with newer signs. I don't have pictures of the newer signs. I apologize. But when you go to the doorways, look up. And there's a sign that'll tell you what's down that hallway. The main one you want to pay attention to is the one that says science, because that's the one that most of you are going to try and find. So if you get to one that says art, that's not science. If you get to one that says music, that's not science. You get to the one that says science, and that's the right one. And then you can go down that hallway, and then you're going to be good to go. So you have some idea where to go on that one. Now, the Globetrotters and the Stars, they don't love their kids. So they don't tell them about this at all. By the way, I'm going to show you 2 more hallways. For those of you who are at home, if you're looking for those hallways, look at those hallways. Ready? Those are different hallways that go completely different places. Ready? Hallways, different hallways. All 4 of those go to different locations, but they all look the same. Yeah, I know. So here's where the joy comes in. If you see Globetrotters or Stars, they're going to have no idea about the signs up there because their teachers don't tell them. I make sure to always tell my kids the first day because my heart's giant, the size of a walnut. So when you see all of the Stars and Globetrotters, most likely they're probably spinning in circles or just freaking out. So you have 2 options of what you can do when you see your Stars and Globetrotters friends trying to go down the hallways. Option 1, you can go, hey, there's a sign up there that tells you where to go. They'll go, what? You just take your hand and you gently touch their chin and you push it up. And they'll go, ah! You go, I know, right? And that's how bonding works, and you make a friend. Here's the other option you can choose to do. Instead, you just step back and just watch. And you see them go running down the hallway. And you go, wait, wait, wait. And all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, you see them come running back out of the hallway going, ah, I don't know. And you just point a different direction. And they'll go running down that way. You go, wait, wait, wait. And you watch it. It's really entertaining. Trust me, I've done it before. Now, which one should you do? That's up to you. You get to choose how good of a person you are. You can pass out your kindness, or you can sit back and watch their struggle. It all depends on what kind of day you're having and how much you like that particular kid. Now, the thing is, those of you who are at home right now, you don't understand how funny that is until you get to the school and you see these 4 doorways and you realize how incredibly evil they are. If you've seen Narnia, it's much like trying to go to like a little cupboard. You open it up and you step through, like, how am I in a different world? It's the same thing. It's 4 different directions. All right. Next up I have for you. Those you, Blaze?
How do we know who are Stars and Globetrotters?
That is a solid question. For the most part, you'll have this thing called like talking to people and just asking them. They should know, because if they have me, they're a hero. If they have Mr. Jansen, they're a star. And if they have Mr. Sturgeon, they're a Globetrotter. But by just looking at them, you can't tell what team they're on. You have to actually have a communication thing.
Oh, come on.
I have to talk to them? I know, it's scary. What I'm giving you now is called a Hero's Hall Pass. You're going to want to put your name on it, first name and utensil is better than nothing. And I mean, if you have nothing at all, let me know, and I can try to loan you something. Those of you who are at home, what I'm giving them is a piece of paper that looks like this. I don't know how well you can see this. So it's got name on it, and use a pass. It's got 3 lines on it. You get to use it 3 different times. So anyway, here's how this thing works. This is going to be a pass that you get to use in my class. This is Randall's social studies class, and this is Melanie's science class. If you lose it, we do not give you a new one because I am the God of passes. I am the one that hands them out. So if you lose it and you come talk to me, go, Mr. Brody, I lost my pass. I'll just go, that's hilarious. Good job. And you go, can I get a new one? I'm like, oh, there's a follow-up joke. That's right. No, you don't get a second one. So that's why you're putting your name on it. Now, where do you want to keep this? If you have a non-school iPad, I recommend just putting it in the case. It's an easy one to open. If you have a school iPad, unless you have a crowbar, you're probably not getting into that thing because it's really well sealed. Or if you have like a pencil pouch, somewhere you can keep this because this thing is going to be worth its weight in gold, but it doesn't weigh very much. Well, it's not worth a whole lot, but it basically is going to allow you to get out of class. 1 second, hold on, I'll get to the moment. You can either use it to if you need to go, well, at one time you could go to your locker, but now lockers don't exist. If you want to, you could go to your locker and then just stand in front of it and awkwardly sit there and pet it. I mean, that's a thing you could do, but mostly you're probably going to be using it to go to the restroom. I have a feeling with these long 80-minute class periods, there is every chance that if you ask to go potty partway through the class period, the teacher will probably let you go. But at some point, teachers are going to be grumpier with you and not let you go. But if you pull out the pass, they can't stop you. You can just go, no, I'm leaving. And you hold up the pass, and they sign it, and you get to get out. You can use it up to 3 times. After you use it the 3rd time, you are going to be out of luck. Now, it only works in my class, social studies, and science. Like if you're sitting in your math class and you pull that out, they're just going to laugh at you. So it's only good in R3. It is good the entire year. So if you don't use them now and you're a responsible kid, and let's say April, we get to go back to normal life, and you're like, Mr. Broviak, I still have this. I'm like, ooh, weird flex, but okay. And you can still use it. That is fine. Plus, being that you guys just now came to school, you get another one the second 9 weeks, which is like 3 weeks from now. So all you do is hold on to it, and soon you're going to have 6 of those lines. You're going to be like, I'm rich, and be all kinds of excited. So hold on to it. The other way you can use it is right now, if you just need like a teacher break, use it. Have the pass and just go to the restroom. That involves you just like going out into a hallway and finding one of those chairs and just sit in it. You're like, oh my God, teacher's overwhelming. And just sit there for like 5 minutes and then just come back in and then you're good to go. That's up to you. Are you going to time us while we're out there? No, that's creepy. I used to, and I had kids take a really long time, but I learned the hard way. That's not a good idea because I had a kid that was gone for a long time. I was like, what took you so long? And he proceeded to tell me. And I was like, I did not want to know that information. So now I don't ask. If you take a long time, that's you, boo-boo. If you really want to miss my class, now given if we find out like you're wandering the halls, that's going to be on you because they have cameras out there, so make good choices. But now, if it's like 3 minutes into class and you use the pass and then you don't come back until like right before the bell rings, yeah, we're probably going to have some issues or you need to see a doctor. But other than that, it should be good as far as the hall pass thing goes. So those are the hall passes. Keep it somewhere safe. It is good the entire year. You'll get new ones coming up in October. Owen. That's fine. But if I find out, I just take it. So that's why they wrote their name on it. What you're asking, can I put it on eBay? I mean, the answer is sure. If you want to try and eBay yours, you can get ones of cents for it. You might be able to trade it for a pack of gum. I have no idea. I don't know what the trading value is. Find out. Take your thing out there, go on eBay, find out. Google on eBay, Heroes Hall Pass. And Google's going to say, you're an idiot. For those of you who have not, I'm assuming you guys all have, because you guys have all been on this. Those of you at home, when you show up on Monday, you're going to have to log on to our Wi-Fi. If you've not logged on to our Wi-Fi yet, if you have the same iPad as last year, you should be good to go. It's the same thing as 6th grade. If you have a school iPad, you're going to have to log on for the first time. It's the same way you log on to Canvas. You just find HSE Corp, log in, and you're good to go. Excuse me. All right, now, all of you, even the ones here in class, open up iPad, go to my Canvas page. Those of you at home, open up Canvas, and we're going to go to this button on my main Canvas page. It says Useful Files. So the one that says, it's right below all the Zoom links, where it says Useful Files. 1 second, I'll turn around and massage my ears. Oh, it hurts so bad. I have a more comfortable one, but it kept sliding down my face. So it's a split between comfortable and then not moving around my face as much. So I have one, like if I had to sit in the classroom, I have a super comfy one. But as soon as I start talking, it's like, rah, 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 rah. It's not for me. So struggle bus. I know, well, I do. I just like my 8th mask I've worn today. And I finally settled on this one so far, but we'll find out. All right. Those of you at home, we're going to do this one, Useful Files. Here's what we have. You're welcome to hit any of these buttons on this page right now.
Yeah.
So on this one, the Useful Files, that first one is that thing I keep sending out to you guys on Remind, where it tells you what kids are going on what days. So whatever reason you need that, or you want to know the class period or what time a class ends, it's on there. So clicky, clicky, you can download it. The second one is our school map, and it tells you where all the different classes are. I just realized I was the only girl that comes on this day. I just looked down like, wait a minute, where's my other females? I'm like, nope, just you. And so the map, click on that, it has all the teachers' names. It shows you where to go for them and stuff like that to try to help you out. The one you're going to want for today is the third one down that says B Points Guide. Click on that one, and that's the one we're going to get to here in just a moment. This is how you not die in my class. Because although I seem happy and friendly, I am happy and friendly, but along those same lines, I'm happy and friendly to kill you. We're going to try and avoid that as much as possible. No, arrow, arrow. We're all good? All right, let's continue. One second. I scroll past this. Let's see how I scroll past it. The other people. First off, Tardies. Hang on. Pause on my tongue. Let's draw back the masks. I don't know if your other teachers have talked about tardies today. If not, let me real quick. Tardies are a thing you did not have to worry about at Sand Creek because you guys had to like travel all together from one class period to the next. Here, the joy of 7th grade is you get this joy of responsibility and being a big kid. The drawback to responsibility and being a big kid is it comes with big kid choices and big kid punishments. So tardy is when you don't make it to class on time. So each class is a little bit different, but essentially when that weird bell rings, that beep, you have to be in the class when that bell rings or you are counted tardy. The first time you're tardy, it's just a warning. My class is going to be a little bit different. In my class, you don't have to just be in the room. Your tushy has to be in the little red seats. When you guys get here, it's going to look like, I can't really pick it up so you guys can see. Let's see. If you're looking at the little screen, there you go. Looks something like that. Your tush has to be in red thing. In that red chair, when that first sound first begins. At the very beginning of the boop, your booty has to be down. The first time you're tardy in my class, it is just a bad kid bad. I walk in the doorway, and you're standing up over here like staring at the giant moon that's in the corner, and you're poking it with a stick, going, it's so squishy. And I'm going to walk in the door going, what are you doing? You're like, squish? And I'm like, you're tardy. And I go, what does that mean? The first time you're tardy, I just go, bad kid bad, don't do it again. They'll go, I'll never do it again. I'll go, you're a liar. The second time you're tardy, and I walk in, and you're still at that 3 days or whatever, 5 days later, however our weird schedule works. When I come in, and you're over there poking it again. I go, hey, you're tardy again. You'll go, what? What happens now? The second time you're tardy for me, you have to write an essay. It's about a page length, and it's about how you're a horrible person and how you're going to try to become a better person. And on top of that, your parents have to sign it, saying, I accept the fact that I've raised a horrible person, but I'm going to torture them into becoming a better person. The third time you're tardy, you don't have to write an essay. You have a detention for me, which involves sitting in the lunchroom, and there's like a separate seating area. You have to go away from all those other things. There's like a table of tears, and then you like a little bucket for your tears. You have to sit there all by yourself, and then you have to do this whole other essay for me about becoming a better person. You have to contact your parents. It's all kinds of awful. The fourth time you're tardy, I don't know. You have to get sent to the office or something like that. Typically, I don't have a whole lot of tardies. It's not usually an issue because I'm scary and grumpy with a smile. Scary and grumpy with a smile. So as long as you're in here and see when the bell rings, you should be fine. Years ago, when I was a young teacher, I was not so strict about the whole tardy thing. It came back to bite me in the boot because there was a day when I used to just say, as long as you're in the room, that's fine. And when I come in, be in your seat. Well, this particular day, I walked in. I had a kid that was standing over there talking to a friend. And I had a kid standing over there talking to a friend. And I walked in like, hey, be seated. Like, they both ran to their seats. But while they were running, they were looking back, trying to finish their conversations. So right in this area, they smacked into each other, and it was head on head. And they both went whack, whack. And it sounded like some smacking coconuts together. And then both of them fell to the ground crying. The problem is, I find that hilarious. Because I'm like, are you kidding me? The two of you are idiots. And they're laying on the ground crying. And now there's paperwork to fill out. So then I got in trouble for laughing at children in pain. So because of that, I've now changed my rule. You have to be in your seat when the bell first begins to ring, so that I don't get in trouble for laughing at a kid in pain. So there you go. Be in your seat when the bell first starts to ring, and you're good to go. And the reason why it says starts to ring is I have that kid who's like on the track team, and they'll be over there, and the first thing they're like, woo, like, go! And they take off running across the room. They try to get their butt down by the end. It's like, made it! I'm like, no. When the first bell begins, then you have to be seated. If not, I get mean to you. The other thing is going to be at the end of class. You might have picked up on this. I like to talk a lot, and I'm really good at talking, and I think I'm hilarious. So usually at the end of class, when the bell rings, I'll still be in the middle of a story, and you guys are going to want to leave because for right now, it's the end of the day. But normally, like on a Wednesday, you're going to go to 7th period after this. When that bell rings, you want to leave. So you need to fill my heart with love to get me to stop talking. Because if you just get up and leave while I'm still talking, I'm going to tell you in a second what's going to happen to you. So here's how you fill my heart with love to let me know that you want to take off. When you hear the bell, if I'm still talking, look at me and smile. But, we have masks on. Oh, I know. But don't worry. Your smile comes out in 2 ways. One, your eyes, because I can tell when you're smiling at me versus glaring at me. Because trust me, as I've been teaching all day today, I can tell which kids are laughing at me and which kids are giving me death glares. So I can see it in your eye. The other place it comes from is your heart. When you smile at me, little heart bubbles come flinging out of your chest at me. And your goal is to fill my heart with love. And my heart is like the size of a walnut. So it does not take very much to fill it up. When the bell rings, and you guys all stare at me. I'm like, you're adorable. You're like, we know, Mr. B. I'm like, I can't take it. You guys get out of here. You're like, okay. And then out you go, and we're good. If you try to leave while I'm still teaching, that makes me feel sad. Because that means you find something in the world more important than me. And there is nothing in the world more important than me. So if you get up to leave, as a class, we're going to help fill your heart with English love. And the way we fill your heart with English love is the rest of the class, including me, we're going to stare at you and point. And when you have the whole rest of the class staring at you and pointing at you, you are going to feel the love leave all of us, exit our fingers, and then go into you. And you will know the love is entering into you is it'll start leaking out of the corners of your eyes. When you turn around to look at us, you're like, what are you all? You're all just, and then all of a sudden the love just starts to come out of the corners. And then you sit back down, and then that will fill me with love. And you're like, that was awesome. And then you guys all get a chance to take off. So that's pointing. Now, I don't want you to laugh at them because laughter is mean. We're filling them with love. It's just the pointing and the staring. Ellie. I mean, I guess you guys can stay here forever and ever, but at some point I'm going to figure it out. I mean, at the end of class, at some point I'll figure it out when the bell rings. Like, I have to go home. I have my own children. But I like your thinking, Ellie. I've never had a kid ask me to stay here forever. Look at you, already getting all my good stuff. All right, so beginning of class, booty and chair. End of class, fill my heart with love. All right, now here's the good stuff. Here's how I get to torture you. B points stands for behavior points. These, or BroviCast points, if you want to go with that, these are your life points. When they run out, I get to torture you and do horrible things to you. As you gain more points, I get to do good things to you. You get rewards for them, which we'll get to here in a moment. For the most part, you should be able to figure out how to lose points. Is any bad kid thing that's ever existed. But I'll give you guys a quick rundown of it because how I do things is sometimes a little bit on the different side. Talking. Pretty much, if you guys have been in school, you know that when you talk, it annoys teachers. It's just a thing that happens. My class, pretty much the same, except I don't mind you guys talking if you do it when I'm not talking. Because I don't want a quiet room. That's incredibly boring. If I had like the entire class period of me just up here talking and you guys just staring at me and blinking, that's like a nightmare for me. I just don't want you talking when I'm talking because if you're unaware of it, I'm the most important thing in the room. And when you talk, that's your way of saying you're more important than me. And you're a very confused child because you can't be more important than me. That doesn't work. So don't talk when I am and you'll be fine. Now, in the past, I would tell kids the easiest way to tell when that is by watching my mouth move. But that doesn't work so well right now because you can't see my mouth move. So you'll always have the voicey things coming out of my mouth. Along those same things, when you do, forgot, right now, you all have 15 points. Those here, those at home, those virtually, you all have 15 B points that you get to hold on to. When you lose points, it depends on how much I like you. Let's say Blaze talks in the middle of class. And I'm going over a thing, all of a sudden Blaze is like, Blaze, I love your shoes. I'm like, Blaze, what are you doing? He's like, come on, check those things out. I'm like, Blaze, bad kid. But let's say I like Blaze because he hardly ever makes poor choices. In that case, I'm only going to charge Blaze 1 point. Like, Blaze, don't talk while I am in the middle of something. I'm going to charge you 1 point. Blaze's like, okay. But PJ, on the other hand, that PJ kid, he's always talking all the time. So in that case, as soon as PJ's like, hey, I'm like, PJ, stop talking, horrible child, 10 points. And I just sit there and yell, like, Mr. Brother, that's not fair at all. It is fair. Here's why it's fair. Already, you have teachers that you like, and you have teachers you don't like. The teachers you like, you're nice to. The teachers you don't like, you're kind of mean to. Same thing happens for teachers. We have kids we like and kids we don't like. If you're a kid I like, I'm nicer to you. If you're a kid I don't like, I'm meaner to you. How do we know if you like us? Well, right now, I don't like any of you, so you're safe. But the more points you gain, the more I'm going to like you. The less of this you do, the more I'm going to like you. The more of these you do, the less I'm going to like you. And you'll always know like your ranking of how much I like you because of your B points. You can always check the B points. And let's say Zach has 15 B points and PJ has 32 B points. I like PJ more than Zach because he's gained more points. But maybe Zach has more points than, say, Max, who has 4 B points. And so you can sort of figure out that ranking of how much I like you compared to other kids. When you start breaking like the 50-point range, you can feel pretty safe that I probably like you. But if you ever break the 100-point range, you can almost guarantee that I like you. But if you start going up to those higher numbers, because the only way to get to 50, not 15, but 50, is by making a whole bunch of good kid choices. And by the time you get to that point, I'm not as mean to you. The drawback is those of you who make constant bad choices, they're like, Mr. Brodie, I got up to 6 points today. Then you're probably going to struggle more because you have more issues. Owen, good question. Posters back over there. I've had kids break 1,000 points. And so any kid that breaks 1,000 points, they get a permanent poster that goes up on my wall in the back corner. So those of you who are at home, when you come to my room, I have a wall over there. If you finish the year with 100 B points or more, your name goes over there next to Maxwell. That is a list of every kid who has ever left my class at the end of the year with 100 B points or more. So if you can keep a hunt now, you have to keep a 100 points on the last day of school. Because let's say Ellie gets up to 120 in March, and then in April she's like, I'm a bad kid, woo! And it goes all the way down to 4. She does not make the wall. So you have to stay at 100 on the last day, and you become a permanent part of my wall. If you make it to 1,000 B points on the last day, you get your own poster in my room. But I've only had a handful of kids who've done that because it's a booty full of work. All right. Oh, the other thing up there, probably not going to impact you guys for the most part because right now there's like 7 of you in the room. So it's not a major issue. But typically talking wise, I will punish 2 kids at once because I've learned of these things called sneaky talkers. We're going to take on back over here to Zach and Owen. So let's say for some reason, Zach is a sneaky talker. So every time that he talks, I look over there and he's like, hello, I'm innocent. And as soon as I look in this direction, he turns around like, blah, 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 blah. I look back over and he's like, hello. So I've now learned. So if I look over here, and even though Zach is looking at me with his little halo eyes, and I see Owen talking to him, I'm going to assume I just didn't catch Zach. So I'm going to charge both Owen points for talking and Zach points for talking. So I'm going to charge both kids. Even if you're not the one actively talking, if a kid is talking to you, I'm charging you points. But that's not fair. What if I'm sitting next to the idiot kid that just keeps talking all the time? I've thought of that one. So let's say, sorry, my daughter's calling. Let's say Zach really is innocent, and Owen just keeps talking to him nonstop, and Zach doesn't want to get in trouble. Here's how you let him know. Zach will take his hand, stick it in Owen's face, and extend his fingers wide. And then he has to look at me with puppy dog eyes. And when I look over there, just like that, you're like, no, help me, puppy dog eyes, puppy dog eyes. Now I'll go, oh, you're innocent. Like, see? And I get to yell at Owen instead. So like, anytime you have that kid that just keeps talking to you, if you don't want to get in trouble, you throw a hand in their face. Now, given, again, right now, it's kind of hard because you guys are so spread out. They're really going to have to throw something at you to get your attention in the first place. But when we're a bit more crowded, it's a little bit easier to be sneaky with it. So anytime that the kid is talking, you just throw a hand in there. Now, let's say Lathe and Max are friends, and for some reason, like Max keeps talking to Lathe, and Lathe doesn't want to get in trouble. Now you have to make a choice. Lathe can either put a hand up and not lose B points, or not put the hand up and lose B points even though it's his friend. You have to decide which is more important: offending your friend or losing B points. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. Those of you who are doing the home version, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Sort of stand up here because it's been a long day. Don't get off of Zoom. You can just go, I don't know, stand up there for a second. Those of you who are here, if you want to stand up for a second, you can. You're more than welcome to. I'm doing the same thing. So I completely feel you. Hang on. I'm going to call my daughter, see what was bothering her real quick.
What?
We'll get there, don't worry. Hey, what's up? How's the little teacher? No, we go until 2:45. Okay, I'm gonna make sure. Love you. My eldest daughter's in high school and they're done already. But she also has to start at 7:30. Like her first class started at 7:30 in the morning. So that's why that's almost the same thing. Fisher's high school.
She wakes up at like 5:30 then. Wait.
Freshman. Yes.
I have a question.
Blaze.
How come almost all your Spider-Man thingies on the ceiling have tiaras?
Because I have daughters, and my daughters for my birthday kept giving me tiaras, and I didn't know what to do with them, so I just randomly had to put them somewhere. And my Spider-Man heads were large, so I just randomly started putting tiaras on things in my room. So yes, as you look around my room, there'll be a number of tiaras on just random things. The joy of me having daughters is made for an interesting life.
Yeah.
I am. We're gonna get there in a moment.
Mr. BroviCast. Alright.
Hello, hang on, random child. The guy didn't mute him. Hang on. What kid dare talketh to me? Oh my goodness, there's a whole lot of chat going on there. Hang on. Who is that? Jeriel? What's up, Jeriel?
Me. Oh yeah, what happens if you get negative 1,000? Do you also
Is that what you're typing into it? You can't. We're going to get there in a moment. I'm going to talk about what happens when you try to lose points. Don't you worry.
okay?
Glad to see you're already trying to make plans for that, though. And all right, let's continue learning.
Is that your favorite time over there?
I do like that. I was a kid giving me last year's gift. That was a gift from a student in 5th grade last year.
How many B points will I get if I see you wearing it?
Well, if you see me wearing it, it wouldn't get you anything.
Oh,
It would get you the joy of seeing me wear it. All right.
That was just
Back. All right. Those of you who are at home, we're going to start again. Hang on 1 second. You might hear anything.
I told you don't get weird. It's just weird.
There we go. All right, and we're back. So we did the talking, the losing points for that one. Now we can move on to the next one. Other ways to lose points. Generally making me mad. Anything you do that makes me want to strangle you is going to cost points. I used to have a list of things that was on there. Of like, don't do this, and don't do this thing. I used to go through all that. But one year, it was about 6 years ago, I had a kid who decided to make that a checklist. And he thought it was a to-do list. And he went through and tried to do every single thing that was on the bad kid list. So after that year, I removed it and just said things that make me want to strangle you in general. Like if for some reason, like you walk over and you're walking past Lady, you just like knock all this stuff on his desk. I'm like, why would you? You're like, I don't know. Like, just drop what's a that's gonna end up charging you points. Or if like you're walking by, you take like a pair of scissors, like whack, and just stab into the wall. I'm like, why would you? You're like, I don't know. When you do a thing that makes me want to strangle you, I charge you points. How many points? How much do I like you? So from 1 point all the way up to all of your points. As an example, 2 years ago, I walked into my room and I had a kid in 5th period who had climbed up on top of my desk and was dancing for the entire class. I charged him 100 B points because he had 101 B points. So I charged him 100 and took him down to 1 B point. According to him, it was worth it. He also got banned from my classroom and had to sit in the hallway for 2 weeks. But everybody makes their own choice, and that was his particular choice. So those good questions we're going to get to in a second. Hang on, I'm still ignoring you. There's another thing I have to get to. Be over here, this direction. Those of you watching the home version, let me flippy floppy here. We're going to turn off the sharing so you can see a thing. And stop. Come on, computer, stop it. There we go. Stop sharing. There we go. All right. Also, my giant wall of stuff that you see up here, everything you guys could see in my room was given to me by either a student or my mom. My mom was super excited I became a teacher, and so she gives me a whole bunch of stuff up there. All right, and my daughters, but not as much my daughters. That's more a few random things like the tiaras and that random doll up there. but almost everything else was given to me by students over the years. And I can track pretty much everything up here back to the kid who gave it to me and then the story that goes along with it. But I don't want you guys touching it. Not because I hate you, not because I'm worried about you having cooties, but it comes back to I realize every kid has a superpower. You guys just don't always realize you have a superpower. The superpower that every kid has is when you touch a thing, it breaks. As soon as you pick it up, you're like, Mr. Broviak, this is so, was that expensive? And so I realized that, and I learned that the hard way, because I used to have a chia head, those things like you smear the goop on the, I have a fake chia head because of the story. I had a chia head that was in my room. It was like you smear the stuff on and like it starts growing off hair and stuff like that, like chia. It was really cool. And I had a chia pet sitting back here. And I walked in, it was a kid in my 7th period, and he was behind my desk. And he picked up the chia head. This was before I had this rule, it's because of this kid, and Mike. And he was picking it up. And I came, he was like, no, because he realized he was going to be tardy. So he tried to run to his seat while putting the chia head back. And he missed it. And the chia head got introduced to this thing called gravity. It just went boom, onto the ground, and chia brains went all over the ground. And I came in, and I'm like, my chia! And had the whole class like turned and pointed at him. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I was standing in the doorway. And so because of that, I've installed a force field in my room. Here's how my force field works. It starts here, it goes all the way to edge, and then from this corner, it goes back over to my bookshelf. It goes all the way up into the sky, all the way down into the ground. There is a trash can over here. This is me still talking, even though my mouth is moving, or at least you should be able to. The trash can is not in my force field. If you want to play with trash can, that's a you issue. You're more than welcome to. So the trash can will be over here to the side. When you cross my force field, will I feel it if I crossed it? Well, you will, but not in your fingertips. You're going to feel it in the removal of your B points. How many B points? How much do I like you? The more you irritate me in that area, the more it's going to come back to haunt you. So don't cross my force field. Don't try to leap across it. Again, it's imaginary, so you're not going to like smack and then hit against it. You're going to go flying across again, like, ah! And it'll go flying backwards, and we have all kinds of other issues. So choose wisely as you cross my little force field. Along with those, if you have Globetrotters and Star Wars friends, don't try and dare them to go behind my desk, because when I kill them, there's paperwork on it, so I prefer not to have to fill out all the extra paperwork. The other big issue we're going to have is whenever I'm sitting here at my desk, like working, and you have a question, always come to this side of my desk to ask a question. If you come around this way and I'm working at my desk and you come up behind me, you have crossed my force field. Here's why this impacts you. As a teacher, I live in constant fear of the student revolution. I know there's going to come a time when the children rise up and try to overthrow their teacher overlord. I'm prepared for that day. So when you come behind my desk, I'm assuming you are the one the other kids have sent to try and take me down as the biggest threat. So I'm going to drop a fool. So if you come behind me, I'm going to freak out. One of two things are going to happen. One, I'm going to throat punch you, because that way I can drop you quickly before you get a chance to attack and call for help. Or two, I'm going to shoot backwards in my chair and roll over your toes. See, already happened to PJ. Or for those of you who are wearing like open-toed shoes, sandals, slides, flip-flops, you're probably going to lose one of your toes at the bottom of my chair as it goes over the top of your foot. So don't cross behind. I'm warning you now. I am not responsible for any deathy things that may happen to you if you make that particular poor choice. All right. Now back to here. Zach. That's for another day. I can't tell all the stories on the first day. No, not that one. Fortunately, the day is not long enough. All right, so we're ready to go. Okay, that should be up there. And Ellie. Who's going to give you permission? I mean, it's possible.
Well, the
Now,
principal
eighth
or
grade,
superintendent
yes.
does.
Hey, struggle with Boston viewpoints already. So I know, me talking. And so on that one, yes, there is a chance you guys become 8th graders. I may let you go back there. if there's a, oh wait, all these kids, I can't see, we're lost. Hey, random children, I'm back. Sorry, I forgot about that. We're gonna blame.
What?
If there's a thing on my wall, by the way, that you really want to see, just ask me. Once I trust you enough, that's fine. It's not like you're gonna give it cookies. So if you like, for somebody like, Mr. Brovi, the thing, can I just what? Yeah, that's fine. Just let me know. I'm more than happy to let you actually see the thing. It's not gonna be. Sorry, my screen's off. All right. All right. Again. All right. I think it's working. Last week. No. Hang on. This technology thing is going to be the death of me. No, I don't want that. I want to stop sharing.
Who's that?
Okay. And let's try this again. Share screen. And here. Share this screen. Yes, that one. And technology. Come on, screen. There we go. All right. That one. My board's over there. When I talked about the kids, the 8th graders who are going to come back because they get over 100 points, that wall over there next to Blaze, my 8th graders get to write on that wall. If you survive my class and come back as an 8th grader, you get to write messages up there. You guys don't get to because you have not survived my class for a year. If you write up there, I will be mean to you and charge you all types of points. For you, no writing up there. My 8th graders do get to write up there. Just because you see other kids don't think you're as special as them. Along those same lines, you do not get to erase things over there. If a kid is written up there on the wall like the Patriots are the best team ever, you don't get to erase it. That means they've had brain damage. That's okay. You get to have them do that. The only other part is like if a kid writes something mean about you, don't erase it. Tell me. No one gets to be mean to you but me. So if an 8th grader comes in there and writes Joey is a big boo-boo head on there, don't erase it because I don't have evidence. You leave it up there and you point it out, and then I will go defend you and I will go after it. Again, the only one who gets to pick on you is me. 8th grader picks on you, I get to unleash fury upon
The
you.
8th grader can easily
Don't,
lie.
and you're still working on a place, but you're getting it. So again, do not let them attack you. Just let me know, and I will. All right, that's there. I know. I'm so friendly and outgoing. I just inspire communication. Not the first time. Sorry. Throwing things. Along those same lines, don't throw things in my class. It seems pretty basic. The kids do it every year. They'll chuck a book at another kid. They'll throw an iPad. Or they'll try like throw a pen at somebody. The thing is, I've learned the hard way. Kids can't catch. They'll put their hands on it every time. I got that. It hits them right in the head. When it does, there's paperwork to fill out and some big pain in my opportunity. If I catch you throwing things, I'm going to be mean to you. Unless you throw the trash can. You're more than welcome. I have a trash can over there, which is a tiny one. And I have a trash can over there, which is the big one. You're welcome to throw things in either trash can. Most of what we throw away is recycling, which is why there's a big recycling thing over there, and you're welcome to throw things in there. Plus, since you can only throw things in the trash can in my room, if you throw something at somebody, what are you calling them? Exactly. And if you call a kid trash in my room, you're picking on another kid. And now I get to get involved in bullying them. So you don't get to throw things at other kids and call them trash. Now, along those same lines, I will throw things at you guys all the time because it brings me happiness. Plus, if you guys don't catch it, I fill out the paperwork that's because of me. So all the time I'm handing out books or handing out like highlighters, you're like, Mr. Brovi, can I have one? Absolutely. I'll chuck it right at you. What if we don't catch it? Well, you're probably going to have a lump on your head. So I would recommend using your hands and not your face. But I will absolutely throw things at you. Along those same lines, after I throw things at you, I'm going to try and get you to throw things back at me because it entertains me. I'm going to try and get you to lose points. Like next week, we're doing an activity with a highlighter. I'll be chucking highlighters to all of you so I get to have happiness. When we're done, they go, Mr. Brovi, do you have the highlighter back? I go, absolutely. And I'll put my hands out like this. But okay, chuck it up. And I'll just leave my hands like that, and you throw that, whack, like, ow! And it'll slide down my face. And they go, what you did? I'm like, did you throw that at me? Put your hand. Why would you throw that at me? I'm not sure. I will be mean to you, and I will charge you points for it. So I'm just telling you now, are going to be a little weird because the whole coronavirus and quarantine things have changed stuff. Now, we're scared. So
if someone's talking to one another and if you like them that much, would you give them a point?
would I give them a point? No. I mean, technically, if I'm not charging them as many points, that's kind of like giving you a point. But no, I'm never going to give you points for breaking the rules. Blaze.
So let's say you have zero B points, and then you throw something, and you get at least
We're going to get there.
at
Don't
least
worry. We're going to talk about how
negative,
to lose points.
I'm talking about like if you get to the negatives.
We're going to talk about that too. Don't you worry. I've got all of your guys' board choices covered. I know you guys are excited what horrible things are going to happen to you. We're getting there. So not having class materials, normally that's the thing that's going to charge you points. The joy right now is you can't leave things in your locker because you have your backpack with you. Plus, most of what we're doing is going to be digital. So when I say, hey, get out your short story notes that we're filling out, for most of you, it should probably be on your iPad, or you can get out the paper one. If you lose a thing, then that's fine. I'm going to charge you B points. It's going to cost you 3 B points. If you've lost the thing, I have to get a new thing out for you. So normally you go to your locker, but right now you have it there, so it should be in your backpack. Not following class directions, that's the one that's going to cost a lot of you guys points. Anytime I'm like, hey, go ahead and get things out, we're going to start working, and you're staring at the wall, and you make me do extra work to yell at you, I charge you points for making me do extra work. But anytime, if you like, the biggest one when you guys come into class, there'll be directions on the screen. It'll say, get out your notebook, go ahead and start working on this, make an entry. If I come in and you're just staring at the wall and have not followed those directions, I charge you points. Just make sure you do what you're supposed to. If you make me yell at you, I charge you points. Missing a homework assignment. Normally, this is where most of you guys suffer your loss of points. Right now, though, during this whole Corona time, I've not been charging kids points for missing assignments because a lot of you have already missed a lot of assignments and you would already have a detention. But I'm thinking right now, I'm not charging points for that yet. Maybe eventually we'll get to it, but for now, with how chaotic everything is, I'm not really charging you points for it. The good news is, for most of you, the main ways that you would lose B points aren't really going to be effective right now. So you're not going to lose as many B points as some of your siblings might have, or maybe as kids in the past have, because the main ways to lose points aren't really going to be impacting you as much right now. The bad news is it's also harder to gain points. So not following class, missing a homework assignment, writing utensils. You are going to need, for every day that you are in my class, a pen and a pencil. And we're going to be doing activities pen and pencil wise. If you're missing a pen or a pencil, you can buy one from me. And I will happily sell you new ones. A new one costs you 3 B points. Or you can get a fancy one that's clicky. Those cost 5 B points. Fancy. Normal 3, clicky 5. I also have clicky pens. What's a clicky pen? You know, the mechanical ones. They're the same ones. There you go, mechanical pencil. And so the same idea, you can buy those from me if you want. Just like that. I have fancy ones. And so you're welcome to buy one from me, but it does cost you points, either 3 points or 5 points. If you don't have a writing utensil and you don't want to borrow one from me, you don't want to buy one from me, you can borrow one from me. To borrow one of my writing utensils, you have to give me a shoe, because that way I get my writing utensil back at the end of class. Because I have found out the hard way, if I don't do that, kids just leave with all of my writing utensils, even though teachers are rich. I ran out of writing utensils. So now, you give me shoe, I give you writing utensil. At the end of class, you give me back writing utensil, I give you back shoe. But what if I don't want to give you my shoe? Then I'm willing to trade for like an Apple Watch, or your phone, or an iPad, something worth a lot of money. Okay? Yeah, I'm not even making you pass today. I know it's the first one. Don't brag your friends. So on this one, as far as the writing utensil, you bring me shoe, I give you writing utensil. Now, my writing utensil, you're going to go to the right down that way through those doors. As soon as he walked out that door, he was like, I have no idea where to go.
Wait a minute, you forgot your 7th grader voice thing.
I could. So my problem with the problem with you guys with writing utensils is yours are slick. In your hands, they just slide right through them, which is why you keep losing them. Mine are scientifically designed to not slide through your hands. Some people call them chewed, but that sounds disgusting. I prefer to call them pre-textured. For those of you who are at home, those are pre-textured writing utensils that are made to fit into your hand. That's disgusting. No, I've Corona cleaned them. They've been boiled in bleach. You're fine. You're not going to get Corona from them. But some kids chewed on them. They did. You're absolutely right. But that also allows them to have little ridges that stay in your hand to help them they don't slide out to make your life better. If you don't want my writing utensil, that's easy. How do you avoid using my writing utensil? Bring your own. If you have your own writing utensil, you never have to use my writing utensil.
Or buy one.
Also, don't loan them to other people. The reason being, if you loan a writing utensil to another kid, you're robbing me of the chance to help educate that person. My goal is to help make kids more responsible. If you loan them a writing utensil, you have robbed me of the chance of educating that kid on their poor choices. So when I find out that you've loaned a kid a writing utensil, I charge you B points for loaning it. So if Maxwell ends up loaning one over here to Ellie, I charge Max the points. How many points? It depends. If it's a regular one, I charge him 3 points. If it's a clicky one, I charge him 5 points. So I charge you points on whatever it is you loan me to. How did you ever know me loaned it? Because kids are dum-dums. Because almost every time after you loan a kid a writing utensil, as soon as they're done with it, they're going to try to give it back to you right in the middle of class, normally right in front of you. And they'll go, "Here's that pen you let me borrow." You go, "What? No, but no, you can have it back. Here you go. I'll throw it to you." You're like, "What are you?" "No." And I go, throw it. I'm like, "Why did you?" Like, "Because I'm giving it back. This pen you let me borrow." You're like, "I don't know what the," oh my God. Because you're loaning it to a not smart kid, so they're going to rat you out, and then I get to charge you points. So don't loan them to other kids. Bad things happen. Speaking of bad things, clicking pins drive me insane. This thing, where it's like clicking nonstop, used to just make me go bonkers. I used to ask kids, "Hey, stop clicking that. You're driving me insane." And I'm already halfway there. And kids are like, "Okay, I'll stop any moment now. Okay, I'm getting there. Just gotta." So I found a much easier way to go about it. When you click a pin in my class while I'm teaching, I typically just sort of walk by and rip it out of your hand and throw it behind my desk. And then it becomes my pin. You go, "But that was mine." I go, "Yes, good use of verbs. It was yours. Now it is my pin. Will I get it back?" "If you buy it." "How much does it cost to buy a quickie pin?" There you go. It's going to cost you 5 points to get it back. Unless I like you. If I like you, I don't rip it out of your hand. In the middle of class, I'll just stop and stare at you, and it gets really creepy and awkward. And most kids hate it. They're like, "I just felt really cold on the inside." And so, yeah. So if I like you, instead of ripping it from your hand, I will just stop teaching and awkwardly stare at you until you feel all shriveled up. And you're like, "I'm going to click. I'm never touching that again." And we get to go on. "I don't want you to like me." No one does. My friends tell me that all the time. Then I'm leaving the room, as PJ just demonstrated. If you don't want to use a pass, you can use B points. 3 B points if you need to go to the restroom, or I would say go to your locker. But if you want to just go stand in front of your locker and pet the outside of it, you can. Or if you just need a break from Mr. Crazy Man, you can spend 3 B points and just like move stand out the hallway for a few minutes there, and that's fine with me. So again, you can use the 3 B points. For the most part, here at the beginning, I'll be nice to you as far as like DJ wanting to go. I understand the long class periods, so if you need to go at times, I'm fine with that. Oh, excuse me. And the last part, how do I keep track of your B points? I have a clipboard that has all of your names on it. And on here, I just put little marks next to it every time you lose points. My clipboard, by the way, It is a Hello Kitty clipboard. It's a Hello Kitty clipboard. Now, before you shake your head in judgment, you're like, Mr. BroviCast, why would you give a Hello Kitty clipboard? Easy. Whenever you see me pick up my pen and go click, and I start charging points, that's a sad thing. Because when you lose points, we're going to find out all the bad things that happen in a moment. And you get depressed and sad on the inside. So you'll see this as it happens. And no one can be sad and depressed when you're looking at an adorable cat wearing a bumblebee outfit. You're going to go, I feel sad, but that's adorable. It's a roller coaster of emotions. You're going to go both sad and happy at the same time. This is my gift to you. This is all the ways that you can lose points. But what happens when we lose our points? But first, maybe some of you are going to be good kids. And this is how you gain points. Here's where the bad news comes in. Because of Corona and changes, a lot of the easy way to gain points are kind of gone. So it's also harder to lose points, but it's also harder to gain points. So a lot of you are going to be like stuck in this little in-between area for a long time. I do recycling here. So if you bring in smashed soda cans, I will give you a B point for every 10 smashed soda cans you bring in. Like Pepsi, Monster, Mountain Dew. You smash them, stomp on them like you're Godzilla. You bring them in, and for every 10 of them, that gets you a B point. If you bring in 100 of them, that'd be 10 B points. That's how math works. So that's completely up to you. You just bring them on a big bag. You can bring them on a bus. You can bring them after school. However you want to get them here is up to you. You have to count them, and then I will give you the points. Owen? That's fine. Pre-crush it. It makes it even better. If you crush them at home, even more special. Blaze?
Can we do balls too?
Unfortunately, no. The reason being is that we get paid for cans, which is why I let you guys get B points for them. We don't get paid for the bottles. And the same thing with paper. We have a recycling company that pays us for the paper, and so I'll give you guys B points. The same as I know with plastic. Plastic is a great thing to recycle. We just don't get paid for it. And so I was going to get paid here at the school. So the paper, pop cans, bring those in, you're good to go. The box tops, we don't have to do them anymore. You can still find them, but now they're doing them all digital. But if you still have some in your house, we will take them and I will give you B points for them. For every 5 of those, it will get you a B point. It's just that they're sort of like phasing that program out and going like a digital version. Blaze?
But wait, so now that they kind of stopped doing that, wouldn't they be rare so you give us more?
But no, but they try. Why are you trying to negotiate though? Zach?
I'm assuming the paper it doesn't matter if there's writing on it.
Correct. Now, what I would say, if you want to do the paper thing, at your house, just in a box somewhere in your house, if you guys get junk mail, throw it in there. You guys get old assignments, throw them in there. And then you have basically when you get at least 5 pounds where you get points, and then you just bring it in like a big grocery bag or something like that. And then I will weigh it here, and I'll be more than happy to give you points. Don't bring me 1 or 2 sheets, and I'll laugh at you. It has to be at least like a grocery bag full for me to weigh to be worth my time, and I can give you points for it. Basically, just recycle at your house, be responsible, I give you points. My goal is be responsible, I be nice to you. Book reviews, if you don't hate reading, there's a book review thing I'll put up on Canvas where you write a review of a book.
Just pardon the interruption.
Gets you
In just a couple of minutes, we'll do our an afternoon announcement, start our rolling dismissal. We're not doing that yet, so just be patient. But what I have sent to each one of you via email just a minute ago is the bus information. So if you could please, within the next couple of minutes, help any student who is not sure which bus they ride, let them know. It's alphabetical from A to Z. You have that list now in your email inbox, and that way it can help us get those buses rolling this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Let me finish this, and I'll show you guys my buses. Tie game we're not doing right now because you guys don't see me every day, so that's not a thing that's going to happen yet. I changed how I do homework because I used to give more homework, and right now I'm giving a lot less homework. So you're not. The drawback. Good news is less homework. Bad news is you don't get a chance to get B points from it. So back and forth on there. Same thing with the homework from that one. So my goal is, like on here, the hall passes. Each 9 weeks, if you have a previous hall pass, you can cash that in for B points. Each blank line gets you 3 B points. So if you can keep this whole thing until the next 9 weeks in October, you can cash this in and you can get 10 B points. So, or you can hold on to it if you want to use it later on. So this is an easy way for you to gain B points. The last thing I have before I do buses. Simpson sheet is on that downloading thing. The Simpson sheet is an easy way to gain B points. Essentially, it is a phrase that you write 50 times, and that's going to get you 5 B points. The phrase is, I will be more responsible for my performance in school. Print off a piece of paper, or you get a piece of paper from me. You have to write it out by hand. Every 50 lines gets you 5 B points. It is unlimited as much as you want to do. I have had kids who have turned in 1,000 of those to try and get B points. If that is the thing you want to do, more power to you. That is the thing that is available to anybody. And we also have serving and detention, which will get you B points too. And then coming up next week, we're going to talk about this area, which is Struggle Town. For those of you who have trouble with your B points, I have to start being mean to you, because as soon as you go down to 5 B points, you get moved over here to Struggle Town. And as soon as you go to 0 B points, you get an automatic detention. So that's what we're going to do next week. Unfortunately, we run out of time for today. So next week, I'll finish out the very end of stuff, and then we're going to get back to everything else. Those of you who are at home, oh, what a long day. Let me turn off this camera thing here, and then let me talk to those kids. And then congratulations, you made it. Match.
How did you get student of the week or
The student of the week I pick probably starting next week, now that you guys are here in class, and I will pick one kid out of all of my classes that impresses me and makes me happy. It doesn't necessarily go off of grades. It just goes off of like interacting in class, doing a thing that impresses me. It's like the ones you see over there, those were all of my ones from last year, and so I haven't had a chance to take them down yet. And then student of the month, Mrs. Randall, Mrs. Melling, and I all get together and we pick one boy and one girl. And we have a poster that goes out in the hallway. So we'll help you out from there. All right. Let's see, I believe. All right. Those of you on virtual, you're done. You can now run away, celebrate.
All athletes staying after school for practice will need to report to the cafeteria with your backpack and mask. So again, all athletes stay after school for practice, or who are staying after school for practice, need to report with their backpack and mask. This is how we'll do the rolling dismissal. It will be by hallway. So at this time,
it's not us yet.
40. All classes and hallways C,
Not us.
D.
Does anyone here not know their bus info and need me to tell it to you? So I can look it up. Reynolds. You'll go out the front door next to the office. Yep. You're right.
N, C, D, G, and wellness.
Not us.
You can release your students. One update is cheerleaders are going straight to practice, not the cafeteria. Thank you.
Yes. For the one, it should be easy because we should have a big group of kids all going in the same way. But remember I told you guys those 4 doorways? The one that says science, that's the bus one also. So it's going to be, and to get there, if you go out my door, and you go to the right and then take a left, it'll be the one that's over there. It'll say science above the door. All right, no one else need, Zach? Named after the TV show Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson, because
For the remainder of students, we will keep you in class until the bell rings, and when the bell rings, upon your teacher's dismissal, you can head to the buses and or out front. Thank you. Because
at the beginning of the TV show The Simpsons, Bart has to write on the chalkboard a whole bunch of times, and so that's where I got the idea from. I just call it the Simpson sheet, named after that. It's on my website. You got to print it off.
Where's your website?
No, sorry, that was a Canvas page. On that camera where we just looked at it, it's the next button down from the B point or for the B point thing says Simpson sheet. Print it off there. Or eventually I'll have some printed off. I was not expecting to be so excited the first day. But good to see enthusiasm. Hey, you guys made it. This is the first time since what, March, that you guys have had to be like in a classroom all day? No, March 13th.
Yeah, it's like 11 days before.
Unless you guys went, I mean, if you were here in Fishers, March 13th. But yeah, that was because that was a Friday. So it has been just over a month. Yeah. Was it Shark Fest? I guess.
Yeah, it got canceled that day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like the whole shutdown started that day, that Friday.
I'm a girls basketball coach, and we were supposed to have our county meet that day. So we were all excited, and then all of a sudden they got canceled. So that's what happened. It's a moon. You spin it. It's got a cow at the bottom of it. Again, giant thing given to me by a kid years ago. He just brought that. I think he won it like at a, I guess like a fair or something like that. Yes, they do. So you go to Tiffin? Do you like movie? Have you been up there at all? Or you have the movie theater that's up there too? Yeah, I love that movie theater.
I like your nice desk.
Thank you. This is the one I like, but it kept sliding around in my face. I had to keep, like this one doesn't hurt my ears nearly as badly, and I drew a little face on it, which is exciting. But then as I kept talking today,
Folks, sorry for the extra announcement, but due to the speed to the students exiting the building, we can go ahead and send the rest of the kids. Thank you very much.
Look at that. All right. You guys are out. See ya. All right. In.